And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free!
I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
Welcome to today's video, where you're going to witness woke logic, or lack thereof, in action. Including a wokey who can't tell the difference between fact and fiction, a lefty who thinks you can be any age you believe you are, feminists who want female footballers to get paid the same as Messi, a woman who thinks there are hundreds of genders, and more. Make yourself feel comfortable. This is Wokes Get Wrecked.
Good afternoon to you, Shivani.
Good afternoon, Julia.
Thanks.
You know my pronouns are they, them. How are you doing?
Yeah. Thank you for telling me your pronouns. I use correct grammar. So the only thing I would need to refer you to is to your face would be you. But I'm not being rude. You can choose your pronouns. You can choose what you want to call yourself, but you don't get to require me to use incorrect grammar and factually incorrect things. You're not a plural. You're a one person, and you're a female person. So I will use she and her. Thank you very much.
Do what you like, I guess.
Well, there you are. You didn't need to tell me then, did you?
Maybe I'm just making sure people know in case they're watching and they want to refer to me respectfully.
Is it disrespectful for me to use correct factual grammar?
It's not incorrect or unfactual grammar to use singular they, them pronouns for an individual. But we're here to talk about the cast review.
Yeah, but you chose to bring it up.
You chose to use the incorrect pronouns for me.
I chose to use the correct pronouns for a single woman who is appearing on my show.
I'm not a single woman though. I'm a very special non-binary trans person.
She thinks she's so special she can control other people's use of language. But this news presenter wasn't having any of her nonsense.
Why the need for so much gruesome, graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
Because
a little
it's so
of it?
much fun, Jan.
Really?
Get it?
Oh, really? Okay, I'd like to see you walk down the street and get attacked by some kids who've just seen your movie.
But you saw, but see, Jan, you're all messed up
Okay.
because you're talking about real life.
Oh,
and I'm
I see.
talking
And kids
about
at
the
12,
movies. You gotta
kids
get
at
it
12.
straight. Now, if you want to talk about the movies, we'll talk about the movies.
Okay, and
If you
kids
want
at
to talk
12
about real life,
can tell
we'll
the
talk about real
difference.
life.
Kids at 12 can tell the difference. You tell their parents that, Quentin.
Hey,
And it was great to talk
I
to
saw
you,
movies when I was a kid, all right? I saw all the movies that I'm
Yes,
basing
and
my
look
movies
how
on
wonderful
are
you
movies I
turned
saw
out.
as a kid, and yes, kids go to a movie theater, they can tell the difference. Maybe you couldn't when you were a kid, but I could.
This wokey is so delusional she can't tell the difference between real life and fiction. Quentin Tarantino put her in her place.
I think I didn't give permission to film me. I don't want to be filmed. I'll assume you don't need your permission. Cool.
You literally walked up to him and took a photo without his
I'm
permission.
not being put on fucking TV, though, you know?
Are you worried you're going to come off looking stupid?
No, it's not something I want to debate. That was just very typical of the level of intelligence. Oh, he's back.
Don't you find it funny that you said you don't want to be on film, you walked up, you took a photo without his consent, then you complained about being filmed without consent, and then you just won't leave us alone?
Being interviewed and photographed, you know?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Okay, so you didn't have to answer. It's just being photographed without consent is the same thing.
I want to be interviewed.
And you're still here.
This is lefty hypocrisy at its finest. They make one rule for them and another for everyone else.
You guys, you can't grasp the idea.
Excuse me, I'm quite young.
All right, buddy.
I identify as 19.
See, this is the argument that people keep pulling. It's not about that.
Why
If
is that
people
not
want
a
to be
legitimate argument, though? Why can't I identify as a black person, but I can identify as a woman?
What? See, this is what I mean. Why is it harmful that people want to, identify as another gender? How does that harm you?
How does it harm you that I want to identify as 19?
It doesn't harm me.
Okay, so then why don't you accept it?
I didn't say I didn't accept it.
Do you accept that I'm 19?
If you want to say that, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't affect me.
Will you take back your statement where you said that I was an old man?
This woman lacks so much rational thinking, she thinks you can make up your age.
Because here's a scenario for you. Lionel Messi puts his hand up and says, actually, I'm feeling like a woman today. Do you play him in the American women's national team, Francesca? Yes or no?
Yes, right now. Hell yeah, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Messi on the U.S. women's national team? Hell yeah.
Would you
because
allow
that would
Usain
mean-
Bolt to do that and be in the sprinting
Yes,
team?
because that would mean they're a trans woman. They identify as women.
I get it. So just to be clear, you'd let Lionel Messi play in the women's national football team and destroy
Hell yeah,
women's football
welcome.
forever. You'd let Usain
it'd be
Bolt...
very difficult to get a ticket, which would suck.
I want to do a little checklist here. You'd let Usain Bolt compete as a sprinter in the American women's Olympic team?
Yes.
Okay. You would let Floyd Mayweather compete as a boxer in the women's American boxing team? You are a complete and utter lunatic.
I completely agree with Francesca, and I'd go
They
further.
would
actually,
have
Piers.
to
You always,
transition.
you always say that you want to be a penguin. I would let you live at London Zoo in a cage like the rest of the penguins.
You know what? I'd be a very popular exhibit.
You would. And you'd be locked up.
Esther, here's the
It'd be
problem.
great for the rest
It
of
is
the
so
world.
delusional. The idea you would let Usain Bolt say, I'm a woman, and compete against women on a racetrack when no man can compete with him, right? It's utterly ridiculous.
These feminists are so delusional, they think Lionel Messi, Usain Bolt and Floyd Mayweather should be able to compete in women's sports.
Well, I'm just convinced that they don't actually believe this, but to the logical conclusion of their ludicrous arguments facilitates the need to actually say these things. Also, this is a testament to the poor quality of public education in both the US and the UK, that you both don't understand the basic economics of how sports entertainment works.
Yeah.
If there are not enough bums on seats, you don't get paid enough. That's literally it.
That's it.
So sitting there outraged about the fact that some female players don't make as much as some male athletes, guess what? Go and buy the tickets to their games and start boosting up their viewing figures, and then maybe
Look at the numbers. Look at the revenue for the Women's World Cup and compare it to the Men's World Cup. They are light years away.
They clearly don't understand basic economics. If female athletes don't generate the same revenue as men, then it's crazy to think they should get paid the same.
How many genders are there?
Many. It's actually like quantifiably.
Well, how about a number?
impossible.
Quantifiable, good.
No, it's so many because.
Give me
the
a
way
number,
that-
any number.
Okay, well the way the data breaks down, this is why you don't understand it.
Number.
You don't actually care about learning. You want one number. There's so many. The way that the.
So many. So many's not a number.
chromosomes actually break down with intersex genders and the way that it actually happens. That is the starting point that you learn in like 5th grade. But when you actually
You like
real
5th grade.
experiments, you learn that the way that data breaks down when it comes to.
Can you give me a number or not?
genders.
Number?
A number? You have 2. Yes. That's 6th grade science. When you move on, there are hundreds of different categories.
So what you learn in 6th grade becomes less true as you get older? Like gravity becomes less true?
This woman thinks there are hundreds of genders. She needs to go back to school.
It's always going to affect my life. I can't take off my skin color. As a black woman, like, prejudices that exist against me don't exist against you, Brian. And that's why you can't be racist against a white person. So I'm sorry if you feel offended, but you are white, and me calling you white boy isn't exactly
It's a bit.
racist.
I mean, you are addressing me by my skin color. I consider
Your
it a
skin
bit.
color will never lead to the, what is it, premature murder of yourself. Like, I don't know, like.
I would actually point out one thing to you. There are more white men killed by police officers than women of any race combined.
I mean, then why aren't you mad? Why don't you hate police too?
Because I realize that police are a necessary function of society.
Like a typical lefty, this woman clearly hasn't done her research.
Life scale, yes, absolutely. I have full capabilities of becoming a wife.
Oh no.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you are a sex worker, right?
Yeah.
Why would you think that you would make a good wife?
Just because I have a certain profession does not take away from my ability to care, love, and provide something that my partner is seeking.
Well, the science would disagree. Have you ever heard of a phenomenon called pair bonding?
No, tell me.
Are you aware that the less sexual partners a woman has, the easier it is and the more likely it is that she can pair bond with her first sexual partner?
Okay, but that doesn't mean that I can't bond with my person now.
Well, it's true. You could be the exception to the rule, but wouldn't it throw up a red flag if it was known that the more sexual partners a woman had, the less likely it would be that she would actually be able to bond with you? For instance, the more men you sleep with, the more likely you are to be divorced, for instance. The more likely you are to step out of a long-term relationship. All of those things are true, and that's probably due to this pair bonding thing. So why would a man want to trust a sex worker to be a wife?
This woman is so naive, she thinks she can sleep with lots of guys and still be wife material for some guy. God help any guy who marries her.
Do you think it's racist to require an ID to vote? Yes. You know, like just harder to like get around if they like have like lack of transportation.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely, because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Technology IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
Those liberals are so obnoxious they think African American voters don't know how to use the internet or have ID. It's them who are the ignorant, uneducated ones. To see more videos like this, then like and subscribe.